Namaste, good morning. Welcome to Dharma Yoga practice. As always, please practice according to your abilities and your comfort level. And you can do the variations, of course, if you feel comfortable with them and you're familiar with the practice. But please modify as you need to and respect your limitations. So we try not to go to a place of pain and suffering or anxiety or distress. How you're feeling is to an extent affecting everybody. So try to feel good in a practice. Challenge yourself, but of course do it in a mindful way. So on that note, let's begin. Sit tall, supremely still. Close the eyes and go inward. Nothing to do, nothing to seek. Everything you need is already within. Let's begin with the sound of Om 3 times to attract divine attention. Imagine you're everywhere. Your thoughts in God alone. And in God you will live hereafter. Of this there is no doubt. May all beings everywhere be happy and free from suffering and enjoy this practice through our senses. May we always have a strong desire for the knowledge that liberates us from pain and suffering. And may we cherish no ill feelings against each other. Only peace, love, joy, and compassion. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So let's do the mantra for purification first, to purify the space, the grounds, and all the psychic channels within. If you know it, of course, you can do it along with me. If not, just do it mentally. Imagine you're chanting through the voice of the Guru and you derive all the benefits as though you were chanting the words perfectly. 3 times. Om pavitraha pavitra va sawa vashtanga topi va yaha smrit pandrikaksham sabahya bihantraha sjihi. Om pavitraha pavitra va sawa vashtanga topi va yaha smrit pandrikaksham sabahya bihantraha sjihi. Om pavitraha pavitra va sawa vashtanga topi va yaha smrit pandrikaksham sabahya bihantraha sjihi. Purifier pranayama. Imagine the best is coming into you to purify you from inside within, and then imagine you're just expelling all the impurities out with the exhale. So we're inhaling through both nostrils, directing all the attention up towards the crown so that you're bringing all that goodness up there. Hold the breath for 12 and exhale for 8 out of the left side. So when the inhale is done for 4 counts. The left hand in Yana Mudra, second finger and thumb connected, other fingers straight on the left knee, other hand, Vishnu Mudra, second and third fingers fold down towards the palm, turn the palm towards you. And this is no longer Vishnu Mudra, this is a mudra that we use for the pranayama. The thumb for the right nostril, the right ring finger for the left nostril. In the breath, retention. Ensure that as you inhale, you're inflating the lungs and bringing your chest up, so that when you hold your breath, you can just tip your chin down into your chest without hunching your back. The back has to stay very straight. You contract the root muscles, pull them up towards the navel, and then you hold, bring the tongue to the roof of the mouth behind the teeth to seal off the lock. The attention is held at the space between the eyebrows. Through the exhale, again, you breathe out through the left, coordinate it so that you're completely empty by the 8th count. And you release the locks as well, of course, in the throat and the root through the exhale. Okay, so we'll do it 5 times. Again, imagine the best coming in, and you're being purified, all the psychic receptors. These psychic receptors, when they're fully open, then you can realize even more for yourself. So, let's begin. Sitting tall and straight, empty the lungs completely on the next exhale. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, plug both sides of the nose. 2, 3, 4. Attention to the space between the eyebrows. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Exhale out to the left. 2, 3. Remember to release the locks. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale again through both nostrils. Fill up. 4. Hold the breath. Chin on the chest. Throat lock, root lock, third eye attention. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Exhale out through the left side. 2, 3. Gradually. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale through both nostrils. 3, 4. Hold the breath. Everything stops, all the mind fluctuations of body movements, even the emotions are frozen. 11, 12. Exhale out to the left side. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. Hold the breath for 12. Exhale out through the left side for 8. Keep the count steady and even. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 3, 4. Hold for 12. Keep your attention at the space between your eyebrows to attract all the prana there. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Exit out through the left side. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And release. Now we're going to do reservation breath. So the palms start open on the inhale. Exhale, you just close the fingertips up towards the wrist. The index fingers touching the base of the thumbs, or the thumb tips if you like. Fingers to the thumbs. Exhale, open back up. You can coordinate it with the synchronization of the movement of the fingers with the breath. So about 5 seconds on each inhale and exhale. As you're doing this, you're holding reserve on the inhale, all that you desire, all that you need in order to feel grounded, complete, in connection with all beings, in connection with God. Exhale, imagine just letting go of everything else that does not serve you. So you keep on holding reserve everything that you need. Okay. So, sitting up tall and straight, close the eyes. Lose yourself in this practice. Breathe out completely. Inhale. Close the fingers. Exhale. Open them back up. Inhale. Exhale. You can keep your hands down on your lap. I'm just showing you so you can see. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep going, keep steady rhythm. Keep on attracting all the goodness with your attention. Your attention is like a great magnet. One more. Inhale. Exhale. You can bring your hands back to Yana Mudra. Keep your eyes closed. Fix your mind on the infinite and divine essence within. Always present. An equal portion present in all beings. Immutable, stainless, eternal. However you see God, or that divinity, the highest self, that divine force that prevails everywhere. Tap into that consciousness and try to see it in all beings. So all the beings are just divine manifestations of God, all the qualities of God reflected, each in its own unique way. So now let's celebrate that amazing magnificence and diversity and richness. And have love for all of it, unconditional love. So on that note, let's begin a practice. Come to standing. So, standing with your feet 10 inches apart arms above over the head, spiritual breathing to establish a deep connection with that divine essence. From the fingertips, inhale down to the arms, into the spiritual heart. 2, 3, 4, located in the center of the chest. 6, 7, 8. Hold the intention at the breath at the heart. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale out through the fingertips. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, imagine pulling the best of the best universe down into the heart. The spiritual heart located in the center of the chest, right side of the physical heart. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold your attention there. Make all that you brought in an offering to the divine essence that's there. Exhale out through the arms again. Just the breath leaves. Everything that you pulled in stays inside. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Feel yourself being flooded by everything that you need. The best, the best. And it goes right to the spiritual heart. Holding it all in the spiritual heart. Hold the breath. Exhale out through the arms again. 2, 3, 4. Everything they pulled in again stays within. 7, 8. Bring the arms down now, and we'll continue some exercise to prepare the body for the practice. Pretend you're the witness watching the body move all by itself. Start to spin from one side to the other. Feels that the arms are heavy ropes. Throw them around the body. And slow it down. Hands on the hips now, and then circle the head. Making large circles. Of course, if it's too much, you can do half circles. Try to get the ears, the shoulders, the chin right across the chest. Feels you're doing a full circle. The back of the head touches the top of the back, perhaps. And then switch the direction of rotation. If you're doing a half circles, going for 1 ear, allow the back of the head to slide on the upper back as it goes across to the other side. All others, try to see the floor in all directions as the head turns. And then release. Right arm spins forward. And then backwards for 4. And forward again. Feels like you're holding a weight of 5 pounds in your hand. And then back. And then the other arm. That imaginary weight makes the arm swing more easily. Reverse. Forward again. And back. And then release. Arms up over the head. Take hold of the opposite elbows. Bend to your left. Go up. Go to the right. Left again. And then right. And come up. Little circles over the head. Most of the head, neck, and shoulders. Gradually getting bigger. The chest and the upper back come into the movement. And then finally the whole trunk circles. Dive down. The elbows slide right across the feet. Come right back up and then change direction, starting off little circles over the head. And then add in the chest and the upper back. Working the waist. And then finally the whole torso. Hinge at the hips. Large circles, allow the downswing to give you momentum to carry you right through the circle. Gracefully and smoothly. Come right back up. And release. Now shake out the wrists, move the fingers very, very rapidly. And doing all by themselves, so you have no control over them whatsoever. Then up and down. Fingers flying like the wings of a hummingbird. Good. And now from here, lion's breath. It's good for releasing some tension. Standing with your feet apart, we're going to come into a squat. So if you can't go down as too far, you just go down to the height that you can. And then you allow the tongue and to hang out of the mouth and the eyes to go wide like you're pouncing a lion. And that's done on the exhale. Let's go. Join me. Next one, you want to imagine your legs like a big pendulum that went out of control. You can bring your hand on a chair or on a wall and then swing the right leg back and forth. Lean forward, try to get your knee right to the shoulder. Very flexible, maybe your shin will even hit the head. When you go back, imagine you're trying to kick yourself in the head from behind with your foot. Modify as you need to. Slow it down if you're not too flexible in the hip. And now the other leg. And then release. Okay, let's do one more for the toes. Arms up over the head, turn the palms up. Lift up off the heels. Exhale, come back down on the heels, lift the toes, rock forward again, push into your toes, come up. Exhale, down, and up again. Engage the thigh muscles and the core, and back, up again, and down. This time, see if you can stay up off your heels when you come up. Get even taller. Imagine trying to push the roof right through the ceiling, right through the roof. Get even longer and straighter. And lower down. Release the hands. Now let's come to the front of the mat. Surya Namaskar for a second. The mat is a little bit off. All right. Hands to the heart. Remember to renounce all the fruits of the practice, for better than practice, even better than meditation, is to renounce all the fruits. Do the practice as though you're divine duty to all beings everywhere. Simply do it because it must be done. Surya Namaskar. Raise your arms up over the head, reach up in the back, hips forward, arch back as you see fit. Come forward and down into Uttanasana, chest on the thighs, head down. Right foot back, lower down the knee, sink down to the seat. Push back through the right heel, feel stretch all the way up through the back body. Then come into high plank. Bring the knees down, the seat all the way back behind the heels. Glide forward between the arms smoothly, coming into cobra. Roll over your toes. All the way back, the seat's back behind the heels. Glide forward again. Brush your nose to the ground. Raise the head up, bring it back over the seat, all the way back. Of course, you can modify, you don't have to come up as high if you're not quite ready to do so. Glide forward between the arms. Rise up. Roll over your toes, Adho Mukha Savasana. Take the head down below the arms and chest down towards the ground. Then the right foot steps forward. If that's difficult, lower the back knee down. If the foot doesn't make it all the way, just use the right hand to step the foot forward. And bring the feet back together, Uttanasana, chest on the thighs, head down. Come right up to standing, arms up over the head, hips forward, hands back to the heart. Raise your arms, bring your arms back behind the ears, hips leaning back. And come down, Uttanasana. Head down, fold the body in half. Left foot back, press back through the left heel, sink down to the seat again, into the high plank. Down we go, bring the knees down, and the seat's all the way back behind the heels. Glide forward, pull at the floor as though you're trying to drag the floor towards the body. And then this might propel yourself forward with more power and ease. The seat's back, 2 more times. To imagine your snake creeping through the grass, move just like that serpent, all the way back. Try to be one with all the forms. Glide forward. Rise up into the cobra. Roll over your toes or bend the toes under and back into downward facing dog, whatever's easier for you. Left foot steps forward, sink down to the seat, push the lower back in, and then feet together, chest on the thighs, head down. Come right up to standing, reach up and back. Hands back to the heart. Don't worry about the breath, just move the body in a way that feels natural, that allows this breath to remain steady and uniform. The breath will figure it out and deliver ease and fluid movement. Uttanasana. Right foot back, lower down the knees, sink down to the seat. Into the plank. Knees, chest, and forehead down. Glide through into the cobra. Roll the shoulders back, take the head back, keep the back neck long. Bend the toes under, and then back into downward facing dog. Right foot steps forward, drop down to the seat. Feet come together, pull the body to your legs, head down. Come right up to standing, reach up and back. Keep being a witness, watching the body moving all by itself, hands back to the heart. Arms up again. You can be like the witness who can see everything, even the mind reactions and emotions. Remain undisturbed, unjudging, no matter what you observe. Left foot back, sink down to the seat, into the high plank. So like the Supreme Witness who's watching, knees, chest, forehead down, and right through into the cobra. Remain unjudging, unconcerned, unaffected. Bring the seat all the way up and back. And unconditionally loving. Left foot forward, sink down to the seat. When the feet come together, Uttanasana, pull the body down onto your legs. Come right up, standing salute. Back down, hands to the heart, always coming back to the source of divine love. Reach up. Imagine this as a divine dance of devotion. Imagine your body moving gracefully, fluidly, and perhaps the body will move with even more steadiness and ease. Now push back to the right heel, this time without dropping your knee to the ground. Into the plank. Bring the seat all the way back, keep your knees up, and see if you can propel yourself right into upward facing dog from here. So pull with your hands, pull the elbows towards the body, push through your toes, and propel yourself forward. Hips and knees up off the ground. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. And then position your position perfectly to come right into downward facing dog here. Right foot steps forward to the hands, sink down to the seat. Back knee lifted, and then bring the feet together. Uttanasana, pull the body to your legs. Come right up to standing, reach up and back. Engage your buttocks and your upper back muscles to support you in the movement. Hands to the heart. Up again. Reach up over the head, bend back. Fold the body down, a gesture of humility. All the movements reflecting some intention or other. Left foot back, reflecting devotion. Remember the back knees lifted into the high plank. Surrender and humility, all these qualities. And then right through to upward facing dog without dropping your knees and hips to the ground. Push right back into downward facing dog. Melt the heart to allow the head to go down towards the ground. Left foot forward, back knee strong and lifted, and feet together. Uttanasana, pull the body to your legs. Come right up to standing, reach up and back. Hands back to the heart. Another variation, raise your arms up over the head, hips forward. Bring the hands down. Good, so from here, lift the hand, chest, you can either hop back or walk back. So if you're hopping back, hold your breath, press into your hands, and then just bend your elbows into going back so you don't land with a big, heavy, jarring movement. Right into upward facing dog if you can. If not, just come into cobra. And then here, see if you can pulse a little bit. Bring your shoulders back, bring your nose up. Look like a dog howling at the moon. Now make sure you don't lose your neck. Telescope the neck out of the shoulders, the trunk out of the hips. No folds across the lower back or the back of the neck. Now, roll over your toes back into downward facing dog. Here we're just trying to soften, line the back, hollow out the back body. Imagine a slide at the playground. You're trying to make your back look like that slide, a big curve. The belly is towards the thighs, the chest coming down towards the ground. Try not to bend the arms. Push against the floor. If you want, you can always walk forward and grab the edges of the mat. Might make it a little bit easier. And try to get your head down. If you're flexible, maybe your forehead, your nose, maybe your chin will come down. Your shoulders melt a little bit. Good. Now from here, lift the heels, lift your head, bend your knees, hold your breath. Bring your feet forward, hopping or walking. Pull the body down onto your legs. Come right up to standing, reach up and back. Hasta Uttanasana, hands back to the heart. Again, raise your arms up over the head. Fold forward, Uttanasana, belly on your thighs, head down. Lift the head and chest, press into your hands. Hold your breath as you jump back, or you can just walk back into upward facing dog. This time, try to go between upward and downward. Tuck your chin in, round your back. Imagine push your heart between your shoulder blades, and then down, the heart towards the ground. Again, come forward, tuck your tail, round your back. Imagine trying to push the heart right between your shoulder blades. And then in your upward facing dog, push it right through your center of the chest. Back the other way. Round your back, tuck the chin in, melt the heart towards the ground. One more time. Roll forward over your toes into upward facing dog. Make like a dog howling at the moon. Back the other way. Round your back and then melt. Sink the head towards the ground below the arms. Make like a dog who's loyal to its master. Exhibit that loyalty. Stretch your back like a dog stretches its back. Now lift the heels, bend the knees up to your hands. Hold your breath, walk your feet or hop your feet forward. Pull the body down onto your legs. Come right up to standing, reach up and back. Hands back to the heart. And go up and back again. Reach up. Fold forward. Now from here, lift the heels. See if you can bring your knees onto your shins onto the backs of your arms. Bakasana. Tilt forward, lift your toes. If it's too much, you can come into crow. You come down lower. You press the upper arms against the inside of the thighs. And then push into your hands. You come forward, you lift your heels. Your knees are squeezing into your shoulders. If you're comfortable, hold your breath. Press your ankles against the wrists. And then see if you can flick your toes up. Good. If you don't want your toes leave the ground, that's okay. Then from here, if you know how to go into chaturanga, go ahead. Push into your hands, lean your chest forward, and just shoot your legs back into upward facing dog. Otherwise, you just walk back and then into upward facing dog. Back into downward facing dog. Good. Now from here, lift the heels, bend the knees, up to the hands. Hop or walk your feet forward, pull the body down onto your legs. Come right up to standing, reach up and back. Come back home, hands to the heart. Bring your arms up over the head. Go down. Uttanasana. Fold the body in half, the gesture of humbleness. So from here, options, your toes a little bit behind your wrists. You can either just rock back and forth from heels to reach your toes. You can come back into Bakasana or crow. Or if you like, hold your breath. Come into tuck 3 times. Push into the ground. And see if you get your seat right over your wrists. Okay, and then the last time, if you like, you can shoot your legs up. Back into chaturanga. That's, of course, an option if you like. Into upward facing dog. Back into downward facing dog. Options here. You can just round your back, come forward, shoulders over fingertips, and go all the way back. Your seat right over your heels and back and forth this way 3 times. Or again, you can incorporate a float. Lift the heels, bend the knees, hold the breath. And so you get your hips over your wrists. And then, 3rd or 4th time, you can land your feet at the hands. Uttanasana, pull the body down onto your legs. Right up to standing, reach up over the head. Hands back to the heart. Take pause here. From the heart, inhale up to the space between the eyebrows. The seat to divine perception. Exhale back down to the heart. Imagine God residing both in the heart and in the seat of the mind, to be your inner guide all throughout the practice and in every day off the mat as well. And release. And be obedient to that inner guru. All right. So now, standing postures. Standing on your left foot first. Let's try ballet pose, a little bit of sequence. Standing on your left foot first. If you can, take your right heel and bring your leg and arm out at the same time. Try to get your toes and fingers on the same line. If you're having trouble balancing, you can do this against the wall. Bring your back against the wall. If you're more flexible, you try to bring your foot up higher. Lean to your left. Try to have your fingers and toes on the same line. Lift your chest. Good. Now, if you like, you can engage your muscles of the standing leg and the foot that you're holding. Release the foot. Hold the breath. Try not to let the foot fall. Too much. And then keep bringing the leg down. Try not to let it touch the ground. Right into eagle. Bend your left knee. If you need, you can take your fingertips to the ground. Index fingers to balance yourself. If you can do it without touching your fingers to the ground, then try it. Arch your back. Try to get your head above the height of the knee. And your foot comes higher than the head. You have to imagine an eagle soaring through the air, skimming the ocean of the earth, skimming the surface of the ocean. And then perhaps your body will take that same form. And you find the ease. Now press into your left foot, hold your breath. See if you can come right back up. Take hold of the heel, whoops, and then back up. If you fall, just try again. Stay unconcerned, unjudging. Release, come back down. Try it on the other side now. Standing on the right foot first. So just realize that if you're standing against the wall, it doesn't make it too easy to do the next pose. So you can stand with your hand, the right hand against the wall. And then it might make it easier for you to come into the sequence. Take hold of your left foot and bring your left foot up. Lift up through the chest. Again, your fingers might be the same height of as the toes, so either in a T, letter T shape, or more like a letter Y. Lean to the right. And then hold your breath if you like. Let go of the foot, engage the muscles of the leg. Allow it to come down softly. You have to keep engaging your leg. Right into eagle. Bend your standing leg, your right leg. Get your belly onto your thigh. And then open it up like a great eagle soaring through the air. Try to get your left foot up higher, your wings very wide. Push into your right foot. You have to push through the corners of the feet. Grip the toes to the mat. Take hold of the inside of the left heel again. Come up. If you have to bring your foot down in between, it's okay. Just do your best. Don't worry about the results. When you unattach the results, lose all the expectations. And bring the foot back down. Good. Next, standing at the back of the mat, left foot up. I better do this way so you can see better. Ardha Chandrasana. So you can do this on your knee as well, or if you have a block, you can use a block. Left foot steps forward, bend your left knee so you can bring your fingertips down to the ground. And bring the right leg up. Turn to the right and bring the right arm up. Again, if you're doing this on your knee, it look like this. You just come out your knee like this, and then you just try to raise your leg and your arm. Try to have your fingers and shoulders, not fingers, your shoulders lined one on top of the other, same with the hips. Look up beyond your left hand. You probably won't be able to see your foot if you're sideways. Now you can stay here or bend your knee so the foot comes close to the seat. Take hold of the foot and push it up and away from your body. Stretch the front of the body. Chest and belly come forward. Shoulder and the hip go back more. Now there's options here. You can look forward. Keep your left hip over the left heel. Hold your breath. So you can bring your fingertips off the ground, maybe even your hand to the heart. If you've got better balance, you can see if you can take your left hand to your foot. Arch your back. Pull heel in towards the seat. Soften your left knee and come back down. So lots of different levels. Go to according to your abilities. Now on the other side. Right foot steps forward. Lean down so you can get and bend your knees so you can get the right fingertips down on the ground. Raise the left leg up. Then open it up. Left arm comes up. Do this on your knee again if you need to. Get the left foot up higher, point the toes. Now you can stay here or bend your knee. Make sure you're not all crunched up. So if you're hunched down, this might be an indication that you need a block or to come onto your knee. If you're taking the foot, bring the heel close to your seat first so that then you can push the foot away from your seat. The knee is pointing up, your foot's far away from the body. Feels like Dhanutasana. Stretch the whole front of the body from the shoulder all the way to the knee. And you can stay here or look forward again. Hit the roll left hip in a little bit. Keep the right hip over the right heel. So you can take your fingertip off the ground. Test maybe to your heart. Or put your foot close to your seat first. Take the other hand to the foot. Push the foot away. Engage the standing leg muscles below and above the knee. Then pull heel towards the seat if you have the foot. Release. Come back down. Okay, now come to the middle of the mat. Facing along the edge of the mat. We're going to turn to the right, so if you can't see the camera anymore, the screen, you can just jump around 180 degrees. Bring your hands to the heart and jump your feet out. Now turn to your left. Virabhadrasana 2. Sink down to the seat. Try to get nice and low. Come forward a little bit. Make like a warrior. Exuding leadership and confidence. Determination. No hesitation to do the duty that they're set out to. Now from here, left arm can rest on the left leg, right arm comes over the head. If you have more flexibility, if your hip is low, you can bring your left hand on the ground. Reach the right arm out. Good. Those who can take a bind. Left hand can come behind the back, can stay with your hand on the thigh, roll the right shoulder back, or if you can get your left shoulder close to knee, a little bit on the inside, you might take your left arm underneath the leg. Join your hands. They're beside your left hip. They're not over the seat. So if you're doing it this way, you try to get your hands over the seats, it's more of a reach. And then you lose the line of the pose. So you just try to bind your hands on the outs just beside your seat. You're sort of sitting on your leg. Right shoulder moves back. And from here, release. Bring hands down the ground, right knee down. Inhale, push yourself back upright. Your left foot moves in underneath the knee. The legs are like a box. Bend the toes under and the back foot. Right arm up. If you can, angle the toe of the knee towards the right. Bring the right arm all the way down so your arm is sitting on the outside of the knee. Your armpit is just against the outside knee. Left hand pushes in the right. Then you have to push the left hand down into the right hand so the belly comes higher than the thigh. And then the center of the chest is always moving towards the thumbs. Push the shoulders back, push against the knee, and then pull the left hip back, extend the head forward, roll the left shoulder back. If you know how to take the bind, go ahead. If you're just learning, this is why it's important to have your arm on the knee. You just try to bring your elbow down in the space close to the shin. You create space by pushing hips back. This gives more room for the hand to slide underneath so it doesn't get stuck. Left hand can go over the back, pull the hand out further underneath, from underneath, and then you can hold the left wrist or lock the fingers together. And then here you can stay here, pull on that wrist or the fingers, try to get your left shoulder all the way back. If you can, hold your breath. Take the back knee up off the ground. And then as you exhale, push through the heel, turn a little bit more. Those you want to challenge, you can see if you can step your right foot in a little bit. Now you can stay here with your feet flat on the ground, your left hip moves back, your hip moves forward, sort of like a pyramid, a bound pyramid. If you want to keep going, shift forward so your hip is over the left foot, and see if you can raise your right leg up. Go back down. And then from here, release. Hands on the inside. We're going to do this way. Lower the back knee down, scooch the left foot all the way back, and fall to your right. Try to get your right forearm down on the ground, right hip. Roll back to your left. So think of Sphinx pose. You're grounded from the hips all the way down to your feet. If you can get that motion, then maybe your belly will know how to come down, because this is the same pose as Sphinx almost. Knees close to the shoulder. And if you're very close to the ground already, you can bring your left arm to the outside and just keep sinking your chest down. Eventually the belly will come down, eventually the chin. Feel as though your thighs and your hips had rocks sitting in them. Become very heavy, the gap closes between the ground and the body. If you're flat on the ground, fix your gaze. Be like the lizard, just sunning yourself on a warm earth. Take your arm tilt to the side if you like, if you're flat. And then coming back, bring your hands back. From here, move your seat back. Lift the front heel, not front heel, front toes up off the ground. And Adho Hanumanasana. Bring your belly onto your thigh. Your shoulder is right beside your knee. Take your attention to where you feel tight. I'm going to do this side, change directions again. That's where the prana will go. Your attention, remember, is like a magnet. Now those who want to go further into Hanumanasana, bend the toes under on the right foot. Bring your seats all the way forward back into equestrian pose. Bring your chest forward, except your toes are up. And then start to slide your left foot forward. Now move your hands back beside your hips, and then just pulse mindfully. Again, don't be too forceful and aggressive. You might hurt yourself. Okay, you don't want to go again. That's not what you want to transmit. So you lightly bounce a little bit. Try to get on your as you come up. You're imagining you're trying to squeeze the mat between your toes and your back toes and your front heel, and then you slide out as though you're trying to stretch your mat with your feet. If you're all the way down, any variation like this pose is an expression of faith. Anything is possible. Of courage, devotion, all these qualities of Hanuman. Now from here, Vasisthasana. So I'll demonstrate an option for advanced practitioners if you like. Bend the toes under. You can take your big 2-piece fingers and your thumb around the toe, and you drag your heel back. You might end up taking too many backs of my heels on the mat. So you pull on your foot and your toe, press into your hands, and then you come right up. You have to push your hip up and forward a little bit. Okay, base the big toes grounded. You can do that. If that's not there, if you're not there, you can just pull the foot in, move the foot behind your knee, either stay in Vasisthasana, or if you feel comfortable, you can lift your knee up off the ground. Keep your ankles crossed if you like. Push hips forward, and then you can do whatever you like. Okay, so any variation, push your hips up. Try to get your left foot flat on the ground and your foot turned at 45 degrees so that with weight in your hand and foot, you'll be able to take your left foot up more easily. Now, break the pose. If your foot is still up, your left foot or your left knee, see if you can come right into three-legged dog from here. Look forward and step the foot between your hands. Left foot between your hands and then spin towards the long edge of the mat. Arms out to the side, come up. Go to the other side now. Turn to the right. If you're facing away from the screen again, adjust yourself. Just turn around 180 degrees. Strong and mighty like the warrior. Paschimottanasana. You can do this version. Make sure your hip is not jutting up. So it's not triangle. Your nice straight line from the foot all the way up through the body. Push the hip down. Left shoulder moves back. And of course, if you're very low, your hip is low, about the height of the knee or lower, you can bring your hand to the ground on the inside of the foot. Or you can bring your hand around the back. Take your hand in the thigh, underneath, just between your body and your leg. Or the full bind. Right shoulder just goes against the knee. Left arm goes behind the back, and you join your hands beside your left side of the seat. Roll the left shoulder back. It's like you're sitting on your arm. If you want to try the balance, press into the right foot, hold the breath, and bring the left foot closer. Now you have to have your hip over the toes, head coming towards the ground, so you can raise the left leg up. Bring the left foot down. From here, lower the back knee down. Walk the right foot in, bend the toes under, left arm up. Take your hand to the outside of the leg. I think I did the wrong version of that all-encompassing, but anyways. So you can either stay here if you found that twist with the arm on the outside of the knee was too much, or go right into the Parivrtta Paschimottanasana. The arm on the outside of the leg, your hands start at your shoulders, but then as you push down, one hand to the other and the belly comes up, your chest comes to your thumbs. Roll the right shoulder all the way back. Try to get the right shoulder over the left, maybe even further if you want to take the bind again. Move your seat back so there's more distance in your elbow and your seat, so you have more room for the arm to scooch under. You use your right hand to slide your hand under, and then take your arm over your back, right arm, your free arm, and then pull your hand out. Then you can hold the right wrist with your left hand, or the fingers lock. And then hold your breath. Bend the toes under the back foot, lift the back knee up off the ground. Roll the right shoulder back, all the way. Look forward. From here, move the left foot in. You can stay in pyramid if you like. This is just an option. You can stay where you were in Parivrtta Paschimottanasana, or you can come into your bound pyramid, move the right hip back, the left hip forward. Or you can try to come up with bound Adho Chandrasana. Shift forward so your head comes forward, your hip is over the heel, and raise the left leg up. back down. Good. Now from here, before I forget, let's move to the other side. So if you want, this is your opportunity to do your bound Ardha Chandrasana if you have a bind. If not, you can just skip it and just come into either triangle pose like this if it's too much, or take the bind in triangle. And then from here you move your right foot in. Your head moves over your head moves towards the ground. Your left hip over left heel. And bring your right leg up. Even if you can get your toe up off the ground. And back down. Alright, so now turn the other way. I apologize for that. That was a little lapse in memory on my side. So left foot moves all the way back and move your left anchor down through your left hip and your left forearm if you can. Roll to the right so you can get your right forearm down. So make sure that the knee is not falling away from your shoulder. It's not like this. Your knee stays close to your shoulder, so you move your foot out first. Or alternatively, we don't want this happening either. So your knee stays over the heel. If you need to stay higher, you just stay on your hands. But keep on telescoping your chest and head forward. And then maybe you can just think of the cobra pose. Your hips are down for cobra. And you just try to anchor down through the hips and the thigh, the top of the left foot. And then the more you lengthen, the more the body comes closer to the ground. If you're on forms, of course, this is easier. Eventually, maybe the pelvis will follow the chest, and then the belly and the chest. You're flat down. You can do other variations. You can take your arms out to the side if you like. Be one with the form. Imagine your lizard sunning itself in the warmer. Break the pose. Come back up. Move your left hip back. Move your right foot in a little bit. Lift the toes. Ardha Hanumanasana. Bow to your leg, your shoulder on the outside of the knee. Just on the right side there. If you're flexible, may your forearms come down. Try to up your hip over the knee. Both hips aligned. Now you can stay here if this is already your edge, or bend the toes under on the left foot. Come forward as though you're doing a equestrian pose again, and then start to slide the right heel forward. And then walk your fingertips back alongside your hips. So a lot of times we tend to have your thumb far away from the other fingers. It's better to have the fingers equal distance apart. Okay, so you don't hurt your thumb if anything happens, if you fall or whatever. Okay, and then just pulse up and down softly. If you're down on the ground flat, you can take your arms up. Exude all the qualities of Hanuman. Most of all, faith. Anything is possible with some determination and constant practice. And of course, adherence to the ethical rules, the yama and the niyama. Without them, there is not even a start to the practice. They must always be present along all the way, your yogic journey. And then release. Now from here, you can take your Vasisthasana going into from your choice of entry on your left hand, left foot. So again, you can just slide your right foot back, all the way back behind your knee and stay like this, and then come to full pose from there. Or if you come from Hanumanasana, anchor down to the left hand, a little bit from the shoulder, take your two piece fingers and your thumb, hook around the toe, and then pull, drag your heel towards you, spin on your left foot, and then flip your hips and chest up. Hips have to move forward, as well as trying to get over the left foot. And take your knee, of course. And from here, Turn back. If you have the right foot up, keep it up. Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana. Head down towards the ground. And from here, send the right foot to the hands, between the hands. Spin on your feet, facing along the edge of the mat. Alright, so from here, before we come up, Prasarita Padottanasana. Take hold of your ankles. Maybe even step on your fingers if you can. And then elbows out to the side. Pull the head between your feet if you can. Your body's right between your legs. If you're more flexible, you might be able to get your head between a little bit further. So the back of the head is in line with the heels. Your chest is behind your legs. Roll the thighs outwards. Roll the shins inwards. Lift your shoulders up. You can stay here, or you can do an inversion of sorts. You can do a headstand if you like. You bring your head a little bit more forward, your fingers just behind your heels, tripod headstand. Or if you want, you can do forearm balance or a handstand. So whatever you're used to. You can take your forearms underneath the shoulders, lift up. It takes a little bit more core strength. Come up this way. Just practice coming up and down, up off your heels. If you're up in some kind of inversion, start to come back down. So engage your core, especially as you're coming closer to the ground. So you can get your thighs closer to your body and closer to the place where you landed your feet, where you started from. Okay, so from here, one more, move your hands forward. Now you can either go into side splits if you're flexible, be careful of your inner thigh muscles, or you can come to frog if that's not quite, there's too much on your hips. So you can just bring your knees on the same line as your heels, and so you can get your seat down between your knees, or if you're more flexible, you can push your seat back, but be careful on this one. Be mindful. You can stay here on your forearms, tuck the tail under, flatten out as much as you can. If you're doing the splits, you move your feet out to the side. Then you just keep coming down. Those who are very flexible can come right flat down and onto your belly. Remember your limitations. Imagine yourself as a guru or as a form and merge with them, and perhaps someday the body will obey, but know your limitations. Don't identify too much with the physical form. That's not the real you, nor is it their real selves. What matters is their quality, divine qualities. Just be one with God in all the forms. And coming back, so if you're in the splits or in a frog, come closer, and then from here, pushing your hands, lean forward, and then lift up a little bit. Walk one foot in a little bit at a time until it's at a comfortable distance, so you can move your other foot in. And once you're at the comfortable distance, arms up to the side, and come up. One more to close. Pull heels in towards closer than the toes. Hands on the seat. And then bend your knees like you're sitting on a horse. Push your hips forward. Easy Chakrasana. Your hips come forward, your knees over the toes. You can keep your hands on your seat. Allow the head to drop back if you feel comfortable. You can slide one hand at a time down the backs of your legs. You might be able to get right just below the knees. Rest your heels, your palms on your just on the back, underneath the knees, and roll the thighs outwards, roll the shins inwards. Use your hands to help guide that movement, that counter spiral. More flexible, of course, you move further. Maybe some of you will end up with your hands underneath your heels. Push your hips forward and up. Try to straighten your legs more. Okay, so then walk back, One hand at a time, walking up the backs of the legs. Once your hands are on the seat, push into seat, pull down at the same time. Really press into the edges of your feet and come back up. Arms up to the side, bend your knees, jump your feet back together, standing in Uttanasana. From the base of the mountain, the base of the spine, inhale up to the crown. Imagine as the summit of the mountain. Exhale slowly back down to the base of the spine. Remain unshakable, unmovable in your devotion to the practice. Now from here, come down, headstand. So if you know how to get into headstand, don't have to wait for me. Just go ahead do your practice, your headstand practice. Once you're there, find steadiness. Hold your attention to the space in your eyebrows. Concentrate on stillness of the mind as well. If you're still trying to learn how to get into it, I'll just show you a few things that you can try here. So if you find the pressure quite a bit on your head, you can take hold of your opposite elbows underneath your shoulders. Don't move your elbows, just move your hands, interlace them. From here, you can bend your toes under, come into a form down dolphin. And then if you like, I need to move forward a little bit. Okay, so you can push your seat back and come forward if you're still trying to develop strength. Come with your chin over your hands, come into plank, and come back. If you can bring your head on the ground between your palms. Make sure your elbows don't go out wide. Keep them, remember, no more than shoulder width apart. And you press the wrists, the base of the wrists against your head as well. That's how you know your hands are about the right position. And you can just lift up and down up off your heels. If it's too much to have your head all the way down, just hover it about an inch above the ground. The closer you get your feet, the more you get the alignment to have your hips over your shoulders, eventually come up. Now if you want, you can take one leg back, all the way back behind you. Allow the foot hang heavily towards the ground. Flex the foot, really push to the base of the toes. Keep the foot close to your seat. And again, you can lift up off the heel and come back down. You don't even have to leave the ground with your toes. If you feel like you can't, however, squeeze the heels or palms against the head, push into the forearms, hold your breath, and just flick your toes up off the ground, away from the ground. Flex your foot. It's just that. If you jump, you might land on your back on the other side. So be careful about jumping. Don't jump too much. If your foot is far away, you'll have to maybe jump a little bit, but do it with control. Keep squeezing the heels of your palms against the head and try to get your leg back as much as you can. It might not be possible depending on your hips, but just do the best you can. Okay. If it's too much to do that, you can do hair pose, forehead down. So if you're still in the headstand, stay there. Be steady. Roll onto your seat up so that your hips are over the knees. If it's too much pressure on the back of the head, just move your head forward a little bit. If you want, you can do teddy bear. Your hands are in line, heels, wrists. The heels of the hands are just alongside the knees. Lift your seat, walk your feet in as close as possible so that your hips are over the shoulders. And then just rest just underneath the knees against the elbows. And from here, you can just flick your toes up. You can dance from one toe to the other. Again, you're just very close to the ground. If your feet are too far away, you won't be able to get your hips over your shoulders and you won't be able to get into the pose. So you have to walk your feet close. So you're on the top of the head, and then your feet will come up. And then if you're comfortable and confident, bring your feet up higher. Maybe bring your knees in on your upper arms instead of just against your elbows. Progressions. Keep your feet flexed. Sometimes it helps you keep the balance. Now come back down. Those in headstand. Make your way out softly. Child's pose. Breathe in. Breathe out. your way up. Shoulders stand. Come to the front of the mat. The easiest way to get in is if you roll into it. Start at the front of the mat, tuck your chin in. Push into your arms and send your feet behind your head. And then move your arms behind your body. Just shimmy a little bit. Bring your hands together so your elbows come close. Your wrists come together, and then you bring your hands on your back. Take a moment to center your hands on the back. Fingers facing towards the ceiling. And then try to have your arms weight, your elbows both behind the back, behind the body, so you can't see them from the front. Bring out one leg and really reach the toes. Try to get the extension so that your toes remind your chin, and then bring the other leg up. Keep that pressing up through that foot that's already up there. If it's too much to have both legs up high, your elbows are not right behind your body, they're sort of more out to this side. You might have to modify by just bring your feet where they can, like over the head somewhere. Have no judgment, just do your best. If it's too much, you can just either sit on your hands with your legs straight up, you can have your legs against the wall, or bridge pose. Your feet come down close to your seat. You lift your back up off the ground. Again, you move your arms underneath your body. Shoulders underneath, shoulder blades together, and your wrists together, wrists together, underneath your seat. Make your chest look like a wall, and you're in pretty much the same shape as shoulders stand. If you want to bring a block underneath your seat and just rest your legs up in the air, that's okay too. So imagine my hands and elbows are a block, and then you just sit. Your seat is resting on your block and your legs are straight up. If you have a lotus, you can do a lotus. Just to make the mind more one-pointed. If you have a lotus, you can come down into Pindasana. Bring your thighs against the body, and if you know how to take the full bind, you can go ahead. Otherwise, if your legs are straight, you just bring them into plow pose again. If your feet don't touch down, keep your hands on the back. If you do touch down, you want to go deeper, so you can try to bring your thighs down onto your belly, against your chest. Your knees on either side of the head. Very flexible, your shoulders, your knees might come down from your shoulders. Go within. Go beyond the body, the mind, and emotions. Keep your attention on the center of the forebrow. It's said that when you have 100% of your devotion and attention there, that could trigger divine bliss. You have to keep practicing to get that, to attain that, even if it's just for a fleeting moment. Possible. Again, ready to come out the pose, hands behind your back, on the ground, palms facing down. Index fingers tips together, same with the thumb tips. Come down slowly. Keep your legs straight, close to the body. And when your seat lands on the wrists, lower your legs to about halfway down, 45 degrees. And then lift your back up off the mat. So you look like a check mark. Move your elbows in a little bit. Push your chest up. Arch your back. Bring the top of it to the ground. If you know flying fish, you can do that. You can take your arms out from underneath, place your palms together over your legs, your arms at the same angle as the legs. If you need to then bring your legs down, it's too much, bring your legs down. Fish pose. Chest high and breathe very fast. Resume normal breathing. Option here to go into bridge here. So bring your feet in, and you can either just flatten out your head And lift your shoulders, not your shoulders, your hips up off the ground. If you're able to stay on the top of the head, bring your fingertips on either side of the head, lift your seat up, slide your head back, bounce it close to your feet, closer, and then turn your heads around. Fingers facing towards the heels, a little bit towards the outside. Take a hot breath in and lift your head up off the ground. Urdhva Dhanurasana. And here you can play a little bit. Rock back and forth. Try to get your chest in front of your arms. Do other things if you like. You can try to take one hand up off the ground, onto the thigh. Of course, you switch. Try it with both hands. You can come up and down, drop backs if you like, or just flip from one side to the other. You can raise the left leg up, just pull one leg up. And then, of course, the other one. So stay in a pose a little bit longer if you can. Experiment. Practice every determination. Eventually you might be able to come on to just index finger of one hand, opposite to the foot. And if you press into the hand and foot, advanced practitioners, or as Dharmaji says, professionals, hold your breath. Maybe put your hand on your ankle. And of course, do it on the other side. Lots of different possibilities. Go to what your ability is. And from here, come down. Rest on your back. Breathe in. Imagine you're fainting. Let go of all fatigue. Now bring the right leg up. If you're tight in the hamstrings, you can slide your left foot in as well. Foot on the ground. Take hold of the ankle, bring the knee onto the shoulder, and pull on the foot. Try to get it closer to the head. If you feel from here that you can extend your left leg, then go ahead. Otherwise, keep the knee up. The right foot close to your seat. Happy baby pose. Bring the knee down right beside your, underneath your arm, right beside your body. Your heels over the back knee. Back of the knee. Good. Then, see if you can pull your foot across the chest. Now you can either hold it with your left hand or bring it into the left crook of the arm and see if you can get your leg, your heel on the same line as your knee eventually, with your leg close to the collarbone. Roll the right thigh down. Make sure your right side is not riding up the hip. Now you can stay in this pose, or you can take your foot back and out to the side so it looks like ballet pose, lying on the ground. So think of all the poses that are familiar to you and just look for the similarities. You're all the same. If you know how to take your leg behind your head, you have the flexibility, go ahead. Bring the right shoulder in front of the knee, push in the back of the knee. Sometimes it helps to bring the left knee in close. Come into tuck. And then lift your left hip a little bit so that you can get your shoulder up, pushing against the knee so the knee comes close to the ear. And then tuck your chin in. Push your foot back towards the floor behind you and pull towards the left. And you might be able to get your leg behind the head. Break the pose. Come down with the right leg. Take one breath in. Exhale, clear yourself of all the fatigue, all the tension, all expectations, most of all attachments and results. Just do your best. Other leg now. Bring the left foot up. Hold the ankle. Bring your knee to the shoulder to start. The knee is bent. Whether you're flexible or not. Start here. And then you can straighten your leg. Try to get your foot closer to the head. If you're very flexible, so you might be able to bring a foot right beside your head. Just allow the knee slips, just underneath your arm. You can bring the right foot in, remember? And then from here, half happy baby pose, bring the foot up so it's in line with the knee. Progressions to come into upside down pigeon here. Take the foot in your right hand or bring it into the crook of the right arm. And adjust the position of the foot according to your flexibility, either like in line with the knee or a little bit closer to the right hip. And then you can either bring it out to the side for ballet pose on the ground, or try to get your left shoulder in front. It's right here. Okay, and then you can anchor down the leg with the back of the arm. Now, let the left side of the hip come up so your knee comes close to the shoulder. Bring the right knee in, and you just keep wiggling. Tuck your chin in. You just kind of keep on wiggling, and eventually maybe this will help you get your leg behind your head. Just push the foot behind a little bit towards the floor and tug towards the right and get your shoulders up off the ground. All the little tricks that you learn from constant practice. Do this as your divine duty. Always in a mindful way so you project all the benefits. Break the pose. Left foot comes down, breathe in, breathe out. Arms beside your body, bring the legs up. Just seats, and then roll right up to seated. Good. Cross your ankles. Come on to your knees. Okay, so bend the toes under, rabbit pose. Hands on the seat, lean back. You have to engage your core as you're leaning back. Right hand on the right heel, left hand on the left heel. Thumbs on the outside, inside, index fingers on the outside, and the other fingers as well. And then bring heels together, lock the baby fingers together. And then push your hips forward as though you're about to fall on your knees. Not your knees, on your thighs. Drop your head back. Elbows are almost together. Tuck the chin in. Push into your heels with your hands. Shoulders go behind your knee, feet. Right hand, right side of the seat. Left hand, left side of the seat. And push yourself back up. Good. Now, from here, sit on your heels. Child's pose. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come up. You can do the same thing. Rabbit, or if you can do it with your feet flat, Uttanasana, then go ahead. Lean back again. Right hand on the right foot, sole the foot, left hand, left sole foot, if you're doing camel. And push your hips forward. Hips over the knees, allow the head to go back. The chest is the highest point of the camel's hump. The top of the camel's hump, the head goes back. It's the pose that demonstrates the resiliency, the endurance of the camel. Tap into all these divine qualities. They're already within you. If you're stronger, you can move your hands to the backs of your legs, just your thumbs on your side knees, push your palms into the backs of the shins. And if you want, you can see if you can bring your head all the way down. Advanced practitioners. If you want, you can take your hands to the edge of the mat and pull your head up off the ground. If you want, you can also do Kapitasana. You try to bring your elbows down. So you can use a wheel if you like. You can just scoot your hands in until your elbows come down. Your head might come further in front of your feet to start, and you might not come all the way down on your elbows. That's okay. Just work progressively. Eventually you'll be able to get a little bit closer in, very flexible. Eventually your head comes between your feet. break the pose, whichever pose you're doing, either coming back up in camel or rabbit, or you can come down onto your back if you're in like Vistrasana. Now, legs out from underneath. Breathe in. Breathe out. So on your back now, let's just do a twist here, supine twist. Bring your left foot onto your right thigh, and then bring your right hand to your left knee and just pull it all the way over to your right. Try not to lift the left shoulder from the ground. Keep the back of the shoulder anchored down if you can. Just keep moving your knee towards the floor to the right. So your left hip goes right on top of your right, maybe a little bit further beyond. You feel stretch in the lower back area. Stretch from the left shoulder all the way down to the right toes. A nice line of energy. Come back, roll back onto your back, right foot comes onto your left thigh, and then use the left hand to guide the foot all the way over to your left as far as you can, while not lifting your right shoulder from the ground. If it becomes uprooted, just keep stretching your right arm out, or just come back a little bit from the twist. Feel the stretch all along the spinal column, from the base of the spine all the way up. Feel the lengthening from the right shoulder all the way down to your left toes. Then release. Just relax now on your back. Feet apart, body facing up, palms facing up. Feet falling away from one another. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Allow all the fatigue and tension to fall away from the body. Surrender physically. Once the body is physically surrendered, the rest of it comes with more ease. Let go of the identification of the body. It is not you. Once you're past that, to relinquish the attachment to the body, then comes the mind, more challenging. But keep your mind fixed on the infinite, that which is beyond the body, the mind, and the emotions. All these emotions are a product of the mind. The more you can free yourself of all that, be like the witness, just imagine you're just watching all of it take place. Then the mind comes into calm state. For it can remain unaffected, undisturbed, unjudging. It's just watching the body, the emotions, the mind, and have as little as try to relinquish a judgment on others, every bit as much, if not more so, on your own actions, thoughts, and words. But the more you act in accordance with yama and niyama, the more you act without incurring pain and suffering upon others, the more positive outcome will come your way. and the feelings of bliss will come. And even though bliss, again, is something that is perceived, it's not, still not the real you. Still not a bad way to pretend that you're in that blissful place. Eventually that will come to materialize. Keep that intention of always trying to find the divine essence in all beings. Remember, it is within you and all beings. Repeat yourself the following sentence 3 times. I see the divinity in all beings. Come back to seated position. Make your way back to a seated position. Prepare to exit Shavasana. And close with Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Instill the peace within, center to all beings. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be receptive to the divine grace within. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful weekend. Much love to you.